Organic chemistry, some basic principles and techniques. What are organic compounds? How to define organic compounds? Organic compounds. How to define organic compound? How to distinguish organic and inorganic compounds? In general, we can say organic compounds are the carbon compounds. Carbon compounds. Some more students have joined. Rule number 32. Shubham has joined. Okay, better. Compounds of carbon. In general, we are talking about that. Compounds of carbon are called organic compounds. But there are some compounds which are having carbon, but they are not organic compounds. Aman has joined, Vedant has joined. Yes, beta. Like carbon dioxide, CO2. It is the carbon compound, carbon along with oxygen, but it is not treated as organic compound. It is an inorganic compound. So many carbonates, hydrogen carbonates, bicarbonates, they are also containing carbon, like sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. It has the carbon oxygen, but it is not organic compound. It is inorganic compound. So we can say the compounds of carbon along with the hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, they are the organic compounds. Like alcohol, aldehyde, phenol, carboxylic acid, amines, these are the organic compounds. They are the compounds of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, etc. So there is no any perfect definition. We can distinguish organic and inorganic. Like bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3. It is the compound of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, but it is not treated as organic compound. Rule number 10. 10 is here. Pooja has joined. 29. Rohit. 29. Rohit has joined. Yes, beta. I have marked your presence. So, Rohit, yes, beta. Presence is marked. And this organic is quite interesting. And so many new concepts you will learn here. This is the basic of organic chemistry. It is necessary to understand so many basic techniques, basic terms we are using till we are studying the organic chemistry. In 12th class, these terms are very useful. Like one thing, when I say this compound HCOOH, many of you are knowing, it is a carboxylic acid known as formic acid. It is acidic in nature. It provides H positive after ionization. When it is ionizing, it is going to form HCOO minus plus H positive. Okay. And when we take acetic acid, CH3COOH, see the change. This hydrogen is replaced by CH3. It is going to ionize to form CH3COO minus plus H positive. It is also acidic. Both are the carboxylic acid. These are the first and second member of carboxylic acid. Unit 9, 10, 11, S. Rajesh, we'll discuss later on. Actually, we want to introduce organic chemistry at this time because it is the month of January and you should know about the organic also. We'll take all the chapters. But here we decided to go through the organic chemistry. Therefore, you will get some new side, new scope of the chemistry, where you will learn so many new things, new concepts. And the most important thing, how to study organic chemistry. Simply, it is not the process of reading and writing and remembering the equations. We have to know what is happening actually in this reaction. What is the mechanism behind this? This is introducing the reaction mechanism. What are the various steps involved in this reaction? That is the reaction mechanism. How to convert one compound into another. That we are going to discuss in this organic chemistry. And in competitive exams, when you next year when you go through some competitive exams for entrance exam, organic chemistry, the contribution is maximum. It is more than 30%. So that much part is coming from organic, and we are going to discuss here some basic principles and techniques of the organic chemistry. See here, I want to introduce one term. I have taken two examples. One is Soumya has joined, roll number 15. Okay, beta. At the end, I will see and I will mark your presence. If anyone is missing, I will mark your presence. So here, one is formic acid, another is acetic acid. Both are going to provide hydrogen ion in their aqueous solution, hydronium ion in their aqueous solution. The point is, out of these two compounds, which is more acidic and why? This type of technique we are going to learn. Here, these two compounds, HCOH, CH3COH, it depends on stability of the negative ion. Out of these two negative ion, which is more stable, that negative ion will provide H positive ion more easily and the compound will be more acidic. And if you compare the acidic strength of these two acids, the formic acid is the first one, is much more acidic than acetic acid. And its reason, the CH3 has a unique role in this compound, and it is going to destabilize the negative ion. That's why this acetate ion is less stable than formate ion. And that's why formic acid is more acidic because of the more stability of this formate ion. This is the more stability of negative ion. This type of concept we'll discuss in this lesson. Tanmay. Yes, beta. One more compound, one more example. So this type of techniques we are going to learn here in this lesson. Not only studying the reactions, how to prepare, what are the various properties, what is the reason behind this, that also we have to know. Then only we may confident and we can answer any reasoning question. Like the question comes, why formic acid is much more acidic than acetic acid? Its reason we will discuss in this lesson when the topic will come. Another compound I am going to take, ammonia. We have discussed about this. Nitrogen has a pair of electron. It is Lewis base. It is basic compound. It provides lone pair easily, lone pair during the reaction. That's why it is a Lewis base. If we talk about an organic compound like CH3NH2, here also nitrogen has a pair of electron. This is the amine, methyl amine. It is a derivative of ammonia. In this two compounds, one hydrogen is replaced by CH3. This CH3 in general, it is written as RNH2. In organic chemistry, R refers alkyl group. Alkyl group like CH3, C2H5. From alkene, one hydrogen is replaced. Then it becomes alkyl group like CH4. CH4 is a methane. When we remove one hydrogen from here, minus H, then it becomes CH3 and there is a free bond. It is a part of organic compound. This is methane and this is called methyl. If it is C2H5, C2H6, it is ethane, and after removal of one H, it forms a C2H5 and there is a free bond. It is a part of organic compound. This is not charged. This is the bond free. It is a part of organic compound and this is called ethyl group. The name of this compound is CH3NH2 is methyl amine. Okay, better? So what I want to say here in these examples, this ammonia is basic, Lewis base. This methylamine is also basic. It has the tendency to lose lone pair of electrons. But if we compare the basic strength of these two, this methylamine is more basic than ammonia. The role of CH3, what is the role of CH3? Here also we have seen the role of CH3 in this basic strength. It increases the basic strength of the compound. And what is the actual reason behind this? That we will discuss in this lesson. Okay, beta? So this type of topics will come and we'll discuss about that. So organic compounds are the compounds of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, etc. are known as organic compounds. The one question come in mind, why we study organic compounds separately? Organic chemistry is the branch of chemistry, and it is wide branch. So why this organic chemistry is separate branch of chemistry? Because of thousands of organic compounds are known. Nowadays, whatever medicines we are using, most of the components present in these medicines, they are the organic compounds. Thousands of organic compounds are known. And why? The carbon is able to form thousands of the compounds. What property make the carbon unique to form varieties of compounds, varieties of organic compounds? And that property is called catenation. Catenation. Catenation property is not shown by the carbon only. It is shown by so many other elements also. But this property is shown by carbon up to maximum extent. What is catenation? Oxygen also having some catenation property. Two oxygen, O2, O and O join together. In O3, one more oxygen join, O, O3, but not many more oxygen. Sulfur also can join together. 2 sulfur atoms, 3 sulfur atoms, finally 8 sulfur atoms join to form a ring that is called sulfur ring. And this sulfur ring is different than the benzene ring. Okay, beta? This is called puckered ring. Formula is S8. Nitrogen also having some ability. Nitrogen in N2, 2 nitrogen can join, and in some other compounds, more than 2 nitrogen can join. So some elements also having catenation property, but carbon has maximum catenation property. Then how to define catenation? Yes, beta, anyone can tell what is catenation? Ishita, Mohammad Abid, yes beta, Ambika, Saksham, what is catenation property? Carbon has the maximum catenation property, and its reason is because of tetravalency of carbon. It is tetravalent. From 4 sides, different atoms or similar atoms can join. Both bond same element. Yes, beta, bond with the same element. Yes, good. Catenation is called self-linking property. Bonding of atoms of the same element. Yes, beta, yes, Ambika, it is correct one. In short, it can be said as self-linking. Self-linking property of an element is called catenation. Carbon is the element which has maximum catenation property. Carbon has the maximum catenation property. And the reason is, it is tetravalent, 4 bonds can be formed, and carbon-carbon bond dissociation energy is also very high. That's why the compounds formed by after joining the carbon atoms, they are stable. The bond cannot be broken easily. The reason is, when we can say due to tetravalency, its reason is, the one reason is because of tetravalency, and another reason is high bond dissociation energy. High bond dissociation. High bond dissociation energy. Because of these reasons, carbon has the maximum catenation property. The carbon can join in a straight manner like this to form a long chain. This is the one property. Many carbon atoms can join up to 20 carbon, very common compounds. The carbon atoms in a long chain may be so many, 50 or more carbon atoms can join together in one chain. Polymers like polythene, polypropylene, where long chain of carbon present in that polymer. So that is because of the catenation property of the carbon, and because of the high bond dissociation energy of the carbon, this long chain is going to be stable. Carbon can join in this way also. Branching is also possible. This type of branching is possible. Long straight chain, branched chain is possible, and even cyclic chain is also possible. Minimum 3 carbon atoms can form a carbon cycle. 3 carbon atom, here it is, cyclopropane, 4 carbon atoms can join. This is cyclobutane, 5 carbon atoms, 6 carbon atoms can join together, even 8 carbon atoms can join together. 6 carbon atoms present in benzene. Along with this straight chain, side chain is there. The side chain may be this type, and a side chain also may contain the cyclic chain also, here like this. Benzene may be there. Along with the straight chain, this type of a cyclic chain is also there. This makes the carbon different than the other elements, and that's why organic compounds are in thousands number. Varieties of organic compounds are possible because of this particular property of carbon atom. Okay, beta? So catenation is the property of carbon which make it unique, which make it different than the other elements, and because of that, millions of organic compounds are known today. These are very useful compounds, very good compounds, and used in almost all the fields. So this is the one property of carbon, that is the catenation property. What are the possible states of hybridization in the organic compounds? Carbon of the organic compounds. Along with carbon, other elements like nitrogen also present, and they are also in hybridized state. But what carbon? Carbon, it's a electronic configuration, carbon atomic number 6. Electronic configuration, 1s orbital having 2 electrons, this is the 1s, then 2s orbital having 2 electrons, and 2p orbital, 3 2p orbitals, that is having 2 electrons in this way. This is the electronic configuration of carbon at ground state. When it is going to combine during a chemical reaction to form a compound, when it involves in a formation of a compound, then this is the valence shell, 2s and 2p. Second cell is the valence shell. This one of the valence electron from 2s jumps into 2p. Here it is, this way. In this way, there are 4 unpaired electrons present in the valence shell, which make the carbon tetravalent. According to this, its bonding capacity should be 2. It should be divalent. But this type of excitation is possible when carbon is interacting with the surrounding elements. Then S electron jumps into P and make 4 electrons unpaired, which are ready to make the chemical bonds. But before making the chemical bonds, they are going to hybridize. Otherwise, these 3 bonds will be identical, while this 4th one will be different. Here S going to overlap with the orbital of the combining element. Here these 3p orbitals going to overlap with the combining elements. But this is not happening in all organic compounds, even carbon compounds. Carbon hybridized first then it is going to combine with the other elements. Like as per the need, when we need only two hybrid orbitals, then 1s and 1p hybridize. This we have discussed in the chemical bonding hybridization topic. Only these two orbitals involved in hybridization, and the hybridization, these hybrid orbitals called sp hybrid orbitals. Two hybrid orbitals are there. One and the second electrons, one from s orbital, another from p orbital, going to mix together and going to form sp hybrid orbitals. They are two in number. Two hybrid orbitals are there. When the compound demand 3 orbitals, then 1s and 2p orbitals are going to hybridize. Take care. This is as per the need of compound. Hybridization is opted as per the need of the compound formation. If 2 hybrid orbitals needed, then sp. If 3 hybrid orbitals needed, there will be sp2 hybridization. And when 4 hybrid orbitals are needed, then the type of hybridization will be sp3. These are the 3 different type of hybridization in organic compounds. Okay, better? Clear? But unpaired electrons will be 4. Remaining electrons which are unhybridized, they are in the p orbitals. Like in sp hybridization, 1s and 1p mixed together, going to form 2 hybrid orbitals which are in opposite direction. And the bond angle here 180 degree. This is the sp hybrid orbital, this is the sp. Number of hybrid orbitals are equal to the number of atomic orbitals involved in the bond formation. Okay. So here sp hybrid orbitals, remaining 2 p orbitals are also there which are unhybridized and having 1 electron. So total electrons in this case is 4. 1 here, another electron here, another electron, third electron here, and 4th electron in this orbital. This is as per the demand of organic compound, as per the demand of the compound. Like if the compound is C2H2, okay, that is ethylene, ethine is the IUPAC name. This carbon is like this, 1 carbon here, 1 carbon here, this is overlap with hydrogen, this is overlap with hydrogen, 2 carbon, 2 hydrogen, okay. So what is about the remaining orbitals? Remaining orbitals are these 2 p orbitals. These 2 p orbitals present here, this is the 1p, this is the 2nd p. And here the same situation, 1p orbital and the 2nd p orbital. They all 4 having 1 electron in each. Therefore, there is side-wise overlapping. See here, side-wise overlapping takes place. And this side-wise overlapping make the pi bond, sigma bond and pi bond. This is the demand of C2H2 molecule. That's why this hybridization is there in the organic compound. Here the carbon is sp hybridized. Then we can say, we can draw the structure like this: C, H bond C, bond C, bond H. Here is pi bond, here is also a pi bond. Number of sigma bonds 1, 2, 3 and pi bonds 1 and 2. These many sigma and pi bonds present in this compound. So as per the need of organic compound, hybridization is decided in the carbon. Okay, better? Here another example. When 1s and 2p orbitals going to mix together, 3 atomic orbitals are mixing, 1s and these are the 2p. Then 3 hybrid orbitals will form. And these 3 hybrid orbitals like this, carbon, 1 hybrid orbital is here, another is here, and 3rd hybrid orbital this side. They are going to form 120 degree bond angle. Here is this bond angle 120 degree. In sp there is 180 degree bond angle. The molecule is linear because of that. And in this case the bond angle is 120 degree. This is the s orbital. These are the two p orbitals. One p orbital is remain there, which is unhybridized. So this is the fourth orbital, p orbital, unhybridized. Electrons, here is one electron, here is also an electron, and one electron, and here is also. These four orbitals, where three are of the same type, sp2 hybrid orbitals, and the fourth one is pure p orbital, and going to form sigma and pi bonds. Okay, beta? The compound having sp2 hybridization, that is going to form trigonal molecule. It may be trigonal planar, like C2H4. I am taking the organic compound as an example. C2H4. What is the situation here? These are the carbon atoms, C2, making sigma bond, and 4 hydrogen atoms. 2 hydrogen atoms attached with one carbon, and remaining 2 attached with the second carbon. Okay. And p orbital, these are the 3 hybrid orbitals. This hybrid orbital going to form sigma bond with the neighboring carbon atom. 2 hybrid orbitals of the carbon going to form sigma bond with hydrogen. And the same situation with this carbon. 1 hybrid orbital overlap with carbon, and 2 hybrid orbitals overlap with the surrounding 2 hydrogen. Then this p orbital present at this carbon, here also one p orbital, they are going to make pi bond due to sidewise overlapping. Okay, beta? So these are the 3 sigma bonds along this carbon, and these are the sigma bonds. Total sigma bonds are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And pi bond is 1. We have to show overlapping on both the sides, but it is counted as a single pi bond. Here the pi electron probability in this lobe, electron probability, it is also in this lobe. So here the sidewise overlapping we have to show in this way, and it is counted as single covalent bond. So this compound is like this: carbon carbon double bond, one is sigma, another is pi, and carbon hydrogen, here is sigma bond. Here it is like this. So this is the need of this carbon, where only 2p orbital along with s orbital involved in hybridization. 1p orbital unhybridized going to make sigma pi bond with the neighboring atoms. It may be carbon, it may be other than carbon. Okay, beta? So this is the another type of possible hybridization in the organic compound. The third type of hybridization is sp3, where 1s and all 3p orbitals involved in mixing and going to form 4 hybrid orbitals. No any p orbital left unhybridized. All these 4 hybrid orbitals present like this. Here it is. They are directed towards 4 directions, 4 corners of regular tetrahedron. So these are the 3 which are facing front direction, front side, and the 4th one is back side to this. It is like this. If these are the 3 hybrid orbitals facing towards us, the 4th one is back side to this. And here the bond angle is, this bond angle is 109 degree 28 minutes. This is the bond angle in carbon where sp3 hybridization take place. Okay, beta? Its example is methane, CH4, methane, ethane, propane, butane, where carbon-carbon single bond present. These all carbon atoms are at sp3 hybridized state. That is the demand of the organic compound. That's why it is happening. And here, this carbon going to make a sigma bond with hydrogen. This is the second hydrogen, third hydrogen, and 4th hydrogen is backside. And this bond angle is 109 degree. All bond angles are 109 degree 28 minutes. And this is called tetrahedral geometry. This one is the linear. and in sp2 it is trigonal planar, and here it is tetrahedral. Okay, these are the three different type of hybridization in carbon atoms of organic compounds or inorganic compounds. In inorganic compounds also the same type of hybridization present. This hybrid orbitals of carbon going to overlap with other elements other than carbon, like oxygen, like nitrogen. And in the same compound, the carbon atoms will be at different hybridized state. Here it is. Okay, here is a double bond and here is triple bond. I have taken an example where carbon atoms in the same compound having different type of hybridization. Here this carbon having single bond, surrounding atoms are other than carbon. It may be hydrogen, like this. Hydrogen here. Here is 3 bonds, 1 more bond required. That's why 1 hydrogen. Here is 1 bond, 3 more required. That's why 3 hydrogen atoms. How to manage the hydrogen atoms when we have drawn a carbon chain? By counting the bonds. Here 1, 2, 3 bonds present, 1 more needed. That's why the 4th bond is satisfied by the hydrogen. It is hydrocarbon only. It may be some other atoms also. Here is 1, 2, 3 bonds present, 1 more needed. Hydrogen can be attached any side, up and down. And here is 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds present. No more hydrogen is needed. And here is 3 bonds present, 1 hydrogen is needed. This is the method to manage the hydrogen atoms around the carbon. Carbon is always tetravalent. State of hybridization may be different, but total number of covalent bonds, it will be 4 around carbon atom. Here all 4 bonds are single, no pi bond. That's why this carbon has, the first carbon has sp3 hybridization. No any unhybridized p orbital. All p orbitals involved in the bond formation. At this carbon there is a sp3 hybridization because the single bond. This is also having sp3, and at this carbon there is a pi bond. Pi bond means 1 p orbital is unhybridized. That is going to involve in pi bond formation. That's why this carbon is sp2 hybridized. Okay, beta, clear? We have discussed in detail in the chemical bonding topic. Here once again, because we are going to study about the organic compounds. That's why it is needed. Here this carbon has a pi bond again. That's why here is sp2 hybridization. This carbon has 2 pi bonds, means 2 p orbitals are unhybridized. That's why here only sp hybridization, 1s and 1p, and in the same way here is also sp hybridization. The other thing, carbon-carbon bond length. What is the order of the carbon-carbon bond length? Triple bond, its bond length will be minimum because extent of overlapping is maximum. Sigma bond, along with that 2 pi bonds formation. That's why atoms are coming more closer. That's why this triple bond, it will be the shortest bond length between the carbon atoms. Then next is double bond and carbon-carbon single bond. Here the bond length is maximum. See here, sp3, then sp2, and then sp. These are the 3 different type of hybridization. In this case, S percentage is 25%. 1/4 S character out of 4, only 1 S. That's why 1/4 S character, and p character, it will be 75%. P orbitals, they are larger in size as compared to S character. That's why sp3 hybrid orbitals, they are larger in size and the bond length will be the largest. So carbon-carbon single bond is largest, is bigger than here. S character is 33.3% and the P character is 66.7%. 66.666. We can take 66.7%. Okay, beta? So this is the sp2 hybridization, and in this case there is carbon-carbon double bond. This carbon-carbon double bond somewhat shorter than carbon-carbon single bond. That's why the bond length is CC bond length larger than C double bond C. And in sp here 50, S character is 50% and the P character it will be 50%. So P percentage is lesser as compared to the previous two. Here 75 maximum P percentage. That's why this bond length is largest. Here is a P percentage 66.7 lesser. That's why bond length is shorter as compared to C bond C. And in this case, there is carbon-carbon triple bond, maximum extent of overlapping. That's why this bond length is the shortest one. This is the sequence of the bond length. And that is because of the different P percentage in hybridization in hybrid orbitals. Okay, beta? Is it clear? ये सारी चीजें आप पहले पढ़ चुके हैं. Revision, just like a revision, because we are going to start organic chemistry, their properties, their various things. That's why it is just a revision of that. You can understand easily while talking about the geometry of the organic compounds and other properties of the organic compounds. Carbon compounds where carbon and other elements bond present, C double bond O. This type of bonding is there. This is a functional group. This is called carbonyl group, C double bond O. It may be aldehyde, it may be ketone. If one hydrogen at least present at this carbon, other may be hydrogen, may be alkyl group. CH3CHO is the formula of this compound. CH3CHO is the formula. Okay, here both atoms may be hydrogen. It may be H bond C bond H double bond O. It is another aldehyde. At least one hydrogen attached to this carbon. This is called carbonyl carbon. This is called carbonyl. Carbonyl, sometimes we call it carbonyl carbon. Carbonyl carbon. When carbonyl carbon has at least one hydrogen, it is an aldehyde. So what is the state of hybridization at this carbon? In the same way, we can calculate along this carbon 1, 2, 3 sigma bond and 1 pi bond. 1 pi bond means 1 p orbital of the carbon is unhybridized, which involves itself in the pi bond formation. Therefore, at this carbon, there is sp2 hybridization, where carbon is bonded with other than carbon, non-carbon element like oxygen. Another one is CN, C triple bond N, cyanide, tetravalent. Here is one free bond. This free bond is connected with the alkyl group R. R may be CH3, may be any alkyl group. CH3, C2H5 like that. Then what is the state of hybridization in this carbon? Here, this carbon has 2 sigma bonds and 2 pi bonds. 2 pi bond means 2 p orbitals of the carbon are unhybridized. Only 1 p orbital take part in hybridization. That's why there is sp hybridization in this carbon. So this is happening as per the demand of organic compound. Benzene ring. One more example, we can take benzene ring, carbon, carbon, here is carbon. There is alternate double bond and each carbon has one hydrogen atom. Here is one hydrogen atom present at each carbon atom. Then what is the state of hybridization in this compound? Here is 3 sigma bond, 1 pi bond. 1 pi bond means 1 p orbital of the carbon is unhybridized. That's why here is sp2 hybridization. Only 1p is not participating in hybridization. Okay, beta, clear? This is the way to decide the type of hybridization. Here it is like this. One compound is, here is carbon, corners are occupied by the carbon and 2 hydrogen atoms attached with each carbon. Here it is. What is the state of hybridization? This is called benzene, well-known compound, and this is called cyclohexane. Cyclohexane. The state of hybridization will be different, certainly, because here carbon-carbon pi bond, but there is no such bond present. That's why no pi bond, all 4 bonds are sigma bond, means all 3 p orbitals are hybridized. And there will be sp3 hybridization at each carbon atom. So in this way, we can decide the type of hybridization in carbon atoms in organic compound. तो बच्चों, थोड़ी बात समझ में आई, ये चीजें आप पढ़ चुके हैं, इसलिए it is just like a revision. Next class onward, we'll discuss about some other concept. This is also given in this chapter at the beginning. Okay बेटा, ये संबिका, ये सब चीजें आपको पहले से मालूम है, पहले हम डिस्कस भी कर चुके हैं, इसलिए इट इज नॉट डिफिकल्ट, इट इज ईजियर. एंड ऐसा नहीं कि ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड बहुत मुश्किल है, दिक्कत होती है, बट इट इज क्वाइट कंफ्यूजिंग. आफ्टर दैट वी विल गेट varieties of concepts. Which concept is applicable, which term is applicable in this particular question, in this particular reasoning, that make the organic compound slight confusing. I used to say generally, organic compounds are volatile compounds. They vaporize easily. Organic chemistry is also like that. It is also volatile. एक साइड से हमारे दिमाग में आता है और दूसरी साइड से बाहर हो जाता है. It is volatile. But how to stop this vaporization? That is by revising, by discussion, by attempting the varieties of questions. We can make it stable. So it needs a revision again and again. That's why organic chemistry takes much time as compared to the other. Okay, beta? So thank you very much. And next day onwards, next class onward, we'll discuss in detail about some other concepts. So thank you, beta. Thank you very much. Hey, Sambika. Thank you, beta. Thank you.
Sir.
हाँ.